Did you see Truman Show when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
did you ever feel like that was happening to you?
No.
Oh, I did. Do I want to work and book jobs and be a successful actor because of the craft? Or is there a part of me there's an unfulfilled part of my childhood that just wants to be accepted or accepted on a massive scale?
It's content. The episode with Kyle Helf, it's the best one. It's content. The episode with Kyle Helf, it's the best one. It's content.
The best episode. Okay. Woo!
Welcome back, everybody, to Content with Shane Hartline. Gonna be really honest this week. I'm forcing myself to make this episode. There's times where you don't want to make the content. You don't want to make the content. You don't want to make the content. There's just been a lot of things that have happened over the past few days in my life, my career. Also, it's 100 and literally, where's my phone? Literally 108 degrees. Luckily, I'm very blessed to have central AC, but still the moment you step outside, my skin starts melting off of my bones. So the last thing I wanted to do today was this episode, but the reason I'm doing it is because of the special guest. The special guest that we have this week, and if you're reading the title of this, you already know who it is, but I'll tell you a little bit about the guest. He's wanted in 49 states for murder. He couldn't get to Hawaii because he's afraid of boats and he's afraid of water. I'm joking about all this. The guest today is actually you, Kyle. You're the guest.
This feels good.
No, the reason I did force myself to do this, even though I didn't really feel like it, was because of Kyle, was because of you, because you're one of my best friends, and honestly, you're one person that can pull me out of a bad mood. But before we get there, let's see, what business should we say? Thank you, everybody, for the continued support on this and watching, and like wherever you watch it. Leave a rating, leave a review. I know that helps so much on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. All these little things help. Leave a comment. Yeah, I appreciate all that kind of stuff. Past that, October 6th, I am doing a show at Mic Drop Comedy in San Diego. And I believe Mr. Kyle Helf will be there. I believe Mr. Tim De La Motte will be there. But I will be there. And yeah, tickets at shanehartline.com. So definitely come check out those shows. I saw Beetlejuice last night.
Yo.
You saw it too?
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't like it, because I really thought it was a fun movie. Obviously, as we were leaving the theater, you hear people like, I like the first one better. Well, obviously, I don't know of many films in history where the sequel was better other than Terminator 2. You can't watch it and say that it wasn't a fun movie. I think, spoilers, if you don't want to hear spoilers, skip ahead a bit until you see me on the screen go. There were some things I think, and I'm sure Kyle, you would agree with this, that I didn't think the movie needed. I don't think the movie needed Jenna Ortega's love interest character. It felt a little forced. Other than that, I thought it was fun. I thought Keaton, thought he'd crushed. I do think, and this is not, I understand why this was the case. I do think Keaton didn't have as much energy as he did in the first movie. I think he was a bit more hyper and spastic in the first one. He's a lot older. I understand that. So don't say shit in the comments about that. I get it. But that was one thing I felt that was different. Also, I'll always say, with these sequels, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, definitely not on Content, but the thing that's really tough with, doing sequels so far after an original movie is made is they're gonna look different. They're gonna feel different. So if I was ever given the opportunity to make a sequel in this business 20 to 30 years after the original came out, the first thing I would try to do is to make it look and feel as much like the original as possible. And I think this one did pretty good. Now, I would always say shoot it on the same cameras, but I don't know that can even happen practically anymore. But that's what I would push for. I'll use an example. Dumb and Dumber 2. This is gonna sound crazy. Go back and watch Dumb and Dumber 2 in standard definition. You'll like it a lot more. It feels more like the original to me. When something is just shot different, it just takes me out of it. I want the thing that I remember from my childhood to feel as similar as possible to the remake as it can. But this one, I think, Kyle, you can let me know what you think, but I think it did pretty good with the music and everything. Like, what did you think?
Yeah, it was beautifully designed. The production value was super practical.
God. So practical.
I couldn't catch many. There were probably like 2 CGI shots in the whole movie.
I think so.
The sets were gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you never see that anymore. And it's also it's Tim Burton, so he's gonna be able to do that.
I love the Afterlife like sets and all the art design and all the practical effects that they did. Yeah, I really had a fun time watching it. It hit me at a time where I really needed it, and so you can now turn your audio back on if you have.
And with your shirt.
Yeah, I know. This is my vibe today. I'm not usually like that, but I just kind of am right now. And I'm getting out of it because of my friend Kyle Helf is here, and he makes me happy. I'm going to see if we get some little, maybe put some orange in the back now.
For Garfield.
Every week, yeah, orange for Garfield. That's honestly what I did my show colors too. Tell me again your Garfield thing.
So on the Discover page, it shows you a bunch of videos when you're trying to search for something. Mm-hmm. So I make sure to like every Garfield video that shows up.
I love that.
And so now it's 90% Garfield.
That is
all the time.
That is so fun. All right, let's turn this to orange and see. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's something. There'll be something fun in the background. It's something. Hey, content. It's something.
That's good.
But yeah, I'm going to finish setting up and then we'll get into the interview with you. But it's going to be on sticks today. And if you're wondering, in the entertainment business, we have words for things. Tripod. We call it sticks. Actually, I really hate like the things that people say in the industry. Just call it a tripod. Also, when people are like, crossing, hate it. I understand why in certain situations, trust me, like if you're carrying something heavy or if you're like somebody setting up a shot and you don't want to distract, but sometimes people get a little bit overboard with like set talk. Crossing. I'm learning as I get older how many things just absolutely annoy the shit out of me.
Okay, boomer.
I'm fine. That's fine. Another thing that annoys the shit out of me lately is very demure, very cutesy, very mindful. Don't fucking do that anymore. Also, if anybody for Halloween this year dresses up as very cutesy and very mindful, you're fucking getting arrested. Also, if anybody dresses as Ray Gun from the Olympics, the breakdancing chick, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I think it's the same thing as the Hawk Tuah girl, the more that I think about it, I don't like dumb things that get popular when I'm working so hard to be fucking famous. No, I am working hard to just pay my fucking bills, and then a girl can make a fucking dick joke or dance like a goddamn idiot at the Olympics or very cutesy, very mindful. It's not even about the words. It's not even about the human being. It's all about how that human being was saying it. Very cutesy, very mindful. Hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. You've also caught me at just a very frustrated time in my life right now. I'm frustrated this week, and that's okay. We can dive into that in the episode a little bit. Sometimes we're frustrated. I'm curious, Kyle, and that'll be my first question in the interview that we're about to start here. And
striking.
That'll be the first thing I bring up is because you're a very chill person. I never, ever, ever see you irritated. I don't know that I've ever seen you irritated, and I think that that's why we work well together. Let's get to the interview with you. Let's do a whip pan, and then we'll put the camera on the sticks.
Okay, here it goes. Give me like a hand motion.
Woo! And then like maybe this under it.
It's a little, just like a quick little stenchy.
Everybody watching, this is kind of my loose game plan for this episode. So we have Kyle Helf on. I'm looking forward to like talking with him and having a conversation, but also he is becoming quite the looping sensation here in Los Angeles, soon beyond Los Angeles. So I figured, have you ever done a podcast interview where you have the loop with you the whole time?
No.
Okay, so like this might be super fun or it might be a train wreck. So no, but we're gonna just loop the whole time. So anytime I'm thinking you feel inspired to start looping based on a conversation, just go for it and we'll see what happens.
Sure will.
Sure will.
Surely will.
Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on Content. Officially, you're always behind the camera, so you're always kind of a permanent, somewhat co-host, but you're officially the guest for this episode. So scoot over there just for the equal.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I don't like you that close. No,
equidistant.
Before I get into my first question, it's funny. I was very honest at the top of this episode about, not feeling like doing this. I think very often in this business, when especially a lot of people that make a lot of content, we do it a lot at times when we don't want to. And, I've had a lot of random stuff happen personally and professionally over the past few days that have just made me sink into a bit of depression and, overall just not a good mood. So I was fighting doing this. And then when I started doing this, I'm like, do I put on a mask? Do I pretend to be something I'm not in that moment? And instead, I think it's more important with this to be just authentic about how I'm feeling. The question, like I said, that I was going to bring up as the first question, something about you that I admire, that I work on about myself is, at least it appears this way, is you always seem very chill. You always seem very go with the flow. And I don't know a time I've ever seen you irritated. Do you get irritated? And answer this honestly. Do you get irritated? If so, what irritates Kyle Helf?
Yes, I get irritated. And I get irritated when I get airline food. What? Have you heard of this stuff?
No bit. Real.
Have you heard of this? Have you heard of airline food? See, you gave me a looper. Yeah.
Is your brain right now fighting just like how many
right
loop
there.
opportunities?
I get depression. Yes, I get irritated. I'll tell you this. I get irritated with those who I'm generally people who I live with. It's people who I'm like so close with day to day. That's generally when that creeps up. Certainly with my wife, like who doesn't bicker when they're married or in a relationship.
It's inevitable that you're around people 24/7. Your energies are going to clash eventually. It's just going to happen. There's never a situation with a couple or a loved one or anything where it's going to be butterflies, roses, and rainbows 24/7.
It's like a bad sign if you're not fighting with your partner. Mm-hmm. And by fighting, I just mean like discussing your needs and having a hard time seeing eye to eye. Not everything has to be a fight. It can just be like we're communicating. And if you're not used to communicating and like trying to understand someone else and like sort of compromise, it can feel like fighting because you're actually fighting yourself.
Yeah. We've worked together since like 2016 on like videos, comedy shows, all kinds of things. And I think we've worked together so well. And there's so many times we're on shoots or after a shoot where I've been like, thank you for being patient with my brain. But I think we kind of have understood each other. We have found a flow with working together that It's hard to find that with people. And if you do find that in this business or in any career, stick with those people, keep making things with those people, because I think they come into your life for a reason. And I think energetically we work really well together, because I can't say one time that I've ever been irritated with you. I can't say one time that we've ever even fought. It might come, and if we do fight,
I'm going to win.
You're going to win, because you've stated before many times that it's fist fight or no fight.
Yeah.
That's a hoop.
Somehow I'm going to win the fist fight.
Fist fight or no. Ay, fist fight or no. Ay, fist fight or no. Fist fight or no. It's a fist fight, baby.
Have you ever been in a fist fight?
No.
Never been in a fight?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Even as a kid, I'll never forget, my brother's like 2 years older than me, and he...
oh, you never had a fight with your brother?
Oh, no, I mean, we've
wrestled?
He's kicked my ass, he's just sat on me and shit, older brother stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just immediately, you think of fist fight, I think of the classic, you're in high school and it's put up your
Meet
dukes.
me at the playground.
Yeah, it's like that. People don't, my brother, I remember in high school, my brother was we went to fight, but like, I forget if he got his ass kicked or if he kicked. It was just like one guy was like, he was watching a lot of TV, like he clearly saw too many movies. He was like, all right, let's fight. And then the other guy was like, just took him, I tackled him.
Yeah.
Because realistically, like practically that's how you're gonna, like, if you really are mad at someone, you're gonna fucking tackle him. It's not none of this. And I'm not interested in none of it. I don't know. I was so like timid and shy as a kid. I had no reason. Nobody had any bone to pick with me at all. And I never had any sort of, I don't know, what do guys generally fight over? Like women or just like general ego? Like, I wasn't interested.
Ego.
I mean, it's all ego. I didn't really have any of that. And also, look at me. Like, you can snap me. I'm like, it's not. I just would rather not.
There's no.
It's not worth it.
No, it is never worth it. And I'm not trying to do a PSA here, but fighting it's never worth it.
Unless you're yoked.
Unless you're jacked, then that's what you're built for.
You could handle it.
I'm built to fight, but my pussy too big.
He got that pussy.
I did have a fight when I'm liking the flow of this. I'm liking the energy.
Yeah, it's fire.
But
this is basically what the show would have been.
Still can be. This will be our this will be our episodes we do when I don't want to find guests, because
Perfect.
I was talking, I don't know if it was on camera when I was telling you about this, but the act of getting guests, even if they're close friends or not, can become an exhausting thing. And can I feel like, and remind me, I want to go back to fighting. But I feel like this is, I guess, a content piece of advice for people if you're looking for advice on this show. But if you're making content that's dependent on getting guests, what I would always say is create a foundation with that concept that isn't fully dependent on guests. That maybe guests are the special sprinkle that you toss in every couple episodes, because I've been a part of projects, and I've also seen a lot of projects that have stopped because the process of getting a guest can just become something that is not fun. And if you can't afford to hire somebody to help you do that, then you might get to a point where it's not fun anymore. And that's not what I want this to ever get to. Like, I am currently having fun, but I did already find myself being like, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to reach out. So like, yeah, let's, every now and then we'll just do these. I'll have back other guests. But aside from the technical stuff, I actually have been in a fight. It was such a pathetic fight. But it's definitely a core memory.
How old were you?
I was 12. It was New Year's Eve, 1998 into 99. Because I remember it was the New Year's Eve before the big Y2K New Year's Eve. And I was, still am, but I was so into wrestling at that time. And there was this big kid, and we were at this big street party, and I remember we were starting to wrestle, and like it was like one of those things where like I was reading his energy one way, and it was not that. And so I started mimicking a wrestler. Like I remember specifically, I was mimicking Scott Hall, rest in peace. And I was doing this thing where like Scott Hall used to like shove guys and go, ooh, and shove guys and go, ooh. And I thought we were playing wrestling. Like I thought like he was about to act as a wrestler. No, the dude like straight up came after me, like tackled me, and we started like rolling around and throwing blows, nothing crazy. But the fight ended, and this is one of the coolest like Southern dad memories that I'll ever have about my dad. But ended up, I was on top of the kid, like not punching, but just like grappling and scuffling. And his dad came and pulled me off. And when my Southern dad, who maybe had thrown back a couple Coors Lights, seen this other dad with his hands on me, oh, my dad came in ready. Because my dad, he's the man. He used to be a bouncer, and the story is that and he was in wrestling too for a second, but my dad has some crazy stories about fighting back in the day. He claims to have like thrown guys through windows and crazy roadhouse shit. Classic 80s insanity. Back when the cocaine was flowing like wine. Like a salmon of Capistrano. But no, my dad came in and was like, "Get your fucking hands off my son." And I was like, "Yeah, Dad. Hell yeah, Dad." But other than that, there was just some times when I was, briefly in independent professional wrestling where the the wrestling started getting a bit too real. And I won't go into detail, but yeah, like it would be like somebody, okay, you've hit me repeatedly, really hit me, and then I am going to give you what's called a receipt, which in a wrestling, a receipt is if somebody hits you, and you can give them a receipt if you choose to, and a receipt is you give them one back, whatever they give you. If they fuck up or repeatedly fuck up, like give them back one. I'm not saying that is like the safest thing to do, nor did I do it often, but I did it with this one guy, and then we got heated backstage after. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you were out there, like, he literally, I'm going into details and I didn't say I wanted to, but he came in the ring and he like kept palm thrusting me. Like, he did it like 3 times in the same match. It was a battle royal. There was a ton of guys in the ring. And so there's only so much you can do physically in those kind of situations. But he came back 3 times, palm thrust me in the nose. So when he walked away, my instinct was, as he was walking away the 3rd time, was like I took this part of my hand and just hit him in the back of the neck to like kind of like wake him up.
Yeah.
But then when we got in the back, we got in each other's faces, and like I don't like that. I don't like that energy. I don't like confrontation. Even though I was a wrestler and still very much am into it, like I don't like confrontation. No. Like I don't like fighting. But
same.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get to that point. And if we do, I'll let you beat me up.
Let it happen.
I'll let your first punch be me.
Yeah, never interested me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Totally.
I
don't vibe with the guy that it does interest.
Right.
You know, the guy that's like, man, it's all ego. The guy that's going out looking for a fight. It's all ego. It's all alcohol too. Alcohol will definitely make me more confident in that kind of situation.
Yeah, it is funny. Like, guys go out looking for a fight, and like in that sense, it's like, yeah, if you find another dude who's also looking for a fight, then in a way, it's like it's healthy because it's like consensual release of aggression.
Guess, but I'd argue that those guys that are looking for a fight are really looking for therapy.
Well, I mean, therapy would help calm them down, but yeah, it's just a lot of that ego, testosterone, masculinity vibes. Yeah, shit's nuts.
It's that masculinity, 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 masculinity.
Song of the summer.
Song of the summer. It's a banger. We've made a lot of stuff together, man. You're definitely the person. If I can't have you or have your help on a project or have you there with me,
No one can.
No one can, but I usually don't want to make it because I just feel comfortable when you're making something with me. I was thinking about this today and kind of thinking back on all of the like stuff we've made, and I think that might have been the first project we shot together, or one of the first. Do you remember when we drove down to San Diego and shot with all those little kids?
Yeah. That was great. Nothing came of it, right?
Unlike our friend Sethward, 99.9% of the things that I shoot, I release because I get so itchy and I just want to get it out there.
Yeah.
But this was one thing that when we were shooting it, even in the moment, I'm like, oh, there's nothing that I don't know what this is. I really don't know what this is, what this could be, because the idea that I had going into it, it quickly went off the rails. Basically, the idea I had is I was working on my SNL tape that year, as many do around that time of year. And the idea I had that year was like, I'm going to get a group of kids, like young kids, to help me make my SNL tape in person. Like I thought like, oh, how innovative, how different this would be. Ended up being a insane disaster.
Oh, yeah. I mean, kids are just going nuts.
They were going nuts.
There's no focus.
There was like 20 kids too in the room.
Yeah, it's nuts. You're just asking for it.
I'll never forget though. I don't know if I have it on camera and it might be too hard to even look for in all that footage, but there was a kid that came up to me as we were shooting.
I remember this.
And he said something like, "My daddy left me."
Oh man, I'm sorry.
In the midst of all this chaos, just like let out the saddest thing to me, and I just was like, oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. But yeah, that was one video that has never and may never see the light of day, just because truthfully, one, I didn't know what to do with it, but also it was weirdly hot in that room. I think they turned off the AC or something, so I was drenched
The
in
whole
sweat.
thing was nuts.
It just was like an uncomfortable.
You were just playing just the one character, or were you trying to do?
I went to them and I was like, I explained to them what I was trying to make. I was trying to make an SNL tape and I explained to them where I'm looking for characters like X, Y, or Z. What are your ideas? Because what I was thinking is like, hey, how funny would it be if kids, kind of like a kids say the darndest things kind of thing, where the kids pitch me ideas for characters and I act them out real time. But their ideas were doo-doo and, just like kid shit that I don't know how to act out, doo-doo man, or whatever they were saying. So it was just...
Oh, look at there. There's some french fries on the table. I'm sticking my cupcake hands into the french fries.
Is that good?
That's terrible.
It sucked.
It was rough, and it was the first thing we did together. So I think I was probably.
But God bless you for
I was just sort of like
following the action.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably now would have maybe
been able to find something. Mm-hmm.
But I just remember I'm like, oh, he's got it. I don't know. yeah, he's got it.
Also, God bless you because you drove down to San Diego with me, and we really didn't know each other at that time.
No.
We're going to be doing a show on October 6th in San Diego.
October 6th in San Diego.
ShaneHartline.com. But yeah, we've shot a lot of fun things together. You have been... When did you start looping?
I started doing this in 2017.
2017?
2017, yeah.
You've gotten incredible, dude.
Dude, thank you. Yeah.
You really have, and you're being asked to be a part of so many shows, and it's just a testament because you've gotten so good at this. But what is the setting that you enjoy doing this the most in?
Street.
On the street.
On the street. On the street. I started doing this for comedy shows, and I still will, but maybe 20 to 40 people in the crowd, and they're just there, whether they want to be there or not. And my stuff is all improvised, and it's kind of like, music is hit or miss. I mean, anything is hit or miss, but I guess and this is just me getting over my thing. I'm sure oh no, is the audience liking my thing? But you should take care of the audience. And if the audience isn't vibing with what I'm doing, it can be painful, or at the very least, maybe they are vibing and I'm worried they're not vibing. I don't know. It's very hit or miss when when there's a set audience. Even when I get booked at a festival and it's it's small stages, but still at a music festival. And so I'm up on the stage and I'm just sort of I hope this works because it's I'm booked for this hour and however I'm feeling when that hour comes, I hope I bring it. And I usually do fine, but it's still way better to just go on the street because then anyone who stops to watch me, it's a genuine compliment. It actually means something. If they're if they're sitting they paid for the ticket, they're sitting in the theater, they're gonna keep sitting there.
Yeah.
And so it's just
Hold on a second. I'm listening.
Yeah, my shit is best when it's discovered, I think. It's best when oh, I didn't expect to see this guy here doing this thing, and now here he is. This is so cool. Mm-hmm. So my favorite gigs are on the street, or sometimes a music festival will hire me where they've built an environment, and usually what it is there's an environment, but then there's a hidden back room. And then I'm in the hidden back room.
Oh, how fun.
So that's I've done a few festivals where
And what do you just kind of ask people things and create loops off that?
Yeah,
what are you
depending.
doing?
I mean, one time I was it just depends on the theme. So music festivals it's usually heavily themed. One time there was this cult setting where you wait in this long line and then there's a few people coming around having you sign up for things like this. It's this step, and then if you wait longer, then you deserve to go into this room. And then the final room is me. And it's just basically a party, but it's praise Ula. It's this puppet. And so the puppet is our god. Ula the One. If you look up Ula the One, I think you'll find it on Instagram. But that game was just let's get lit and shake our booty, because that's how you worship Ula, is you shake your booty. The other one that I did recently was it was like a cockfighting ring, but instead of chickens, it's like humans. So like you get in there and then you get in, they set up like a ring and like there's a bell and everything. It's super rowdy, and so it's just like, okay, you grab that balloon sword, you grab that balloon sword, and go. Here are the rules, go. And then like I just
Where
make
was this?
This was at Lightning in a Bottle in Bakersfield.
Okay.
LIB festival, really fun festival.
Okay.
Really fun. But so that's like as good. And usually I get paid to go to, I try not to go to festivals if I don't get paid because it's a lot. But that's fun because again, it's like, I'm like this special thing that they discovered. And then after like 15 minutes, it's like we flush that room. There's like a little break and then there's like a new crowd.
That's this.
So I think like the structure helps when it's like a booked thing. Otherwise, I just like the freedom and flexibility of just going out on the street.
Yeah.
I go out with Blake Rozier a lot, who was on the show. I started during lockdown. I started going to Venice Beach just to get out of the house. I already liked going to Venice, and while going to Venice just to escape my house, I was like, oh, someone told me they mentioned you don't need a permit. And I'm like, what? Really? You can just set up anywhere on Venice Beach? It's lawless. So I started doing that, and that
Hollywood Boulevard, do you need a permit?
No.
Also, you don't.
Also, just anything goes. Anything goes. That's like, yeah, like those are the best spots. These sort of just like anything goes. A lot of tourists, Venice Beach, Hollywood. Some places you need a permit in the city, but this sort of like, especially when it's tourists, you just get a lot of just like muggles or people outside of the industry or outside of entertainment who are just like, whoa, wow, what? And it just, for me, it's like getting stage time.
Yeah.
You can just sort of like...
You can just set up anywhere.
Set up anywhere and do it, and then I just get comfortable doing it. And now I can, when like Jim Garrett asked me to host Hot 30, shout out Hot 30 on Instagram, it's really easy to host Hot 30 because I do have this, but because I've like done this sort of improvised on the street, just hours and hours and hours, I feel more comfortable just like being on stage because now I treat the stage like I'm on the street.
Well, I think that's, we had Blake on, we spoke about his new streaming, I don't want to call it a venture, but he's doing what is he called? On the street or out?
Oh, Send Me Somewhere.
Send Me Somewhere, but he's just like in real life IRL streams. Yeah. But what I'm finding is, or what I think is really happening in the entertainment business and performing in general is like, it's not limited to the stage anymore, which is so great. Like even podcasts, what I'll say with podcasts with comedians is if you watch a lot of podcasts that have comedians on them, you can see that a lot of the times, and I do it on here sometimes, I'm most of the time just having conversation, being authentic, but there's moments where I'm like, oh, I could test a bit or I could test a stand-up bit and see how it feels. This is also an opportunity for me to just put reps in. Yeah. So it's like when you're on the street, that's another stage, another opportunity for you to put reps in. This is a great thing that can be plopped in any setting and just add so much. Like, I'll never forget seeing Gabby and Jaina on the podcast, just like blown away by your talent with it. But I'm definitely the type of person too where I like, when I started stand up, I was doing a lot of characters and I would have little outfit pieces, but like I always want to do more than, it's not that I don't feel like I'm enough, but like I always want to, any opportunity I can, I like to do more. I like to give more. So like you found such a cool thing where you're giving more than just yourself, but it is a part of you.
Thanks,
like, man. I mean, you're very like energetic. You have so much energy that I'm jealous of your energy sometimes. But you found a way to funnel it and you're very like, did you ever play drums or? No,
I never played drums actually, but I've pretty much always beatboxed or like sort of come up with little jingles in my head while I'm walking around. This board came out like a year before I grabbed it. It came out onto the scene and then it like exploded in popularity. Oh, okay. Because I think, like me, for a lot of people, this thing finally was the first thing that could immediately turn any like little idea I had when I'm walking down the street, just like walking down the street, I'm like walking down the street, I'm like walking down the street, I'm like
walking down the street. Yeah, I'm walking down the street. What's that over there? It's a car. I thought it was something else. Walking down the street.
You know, so I can sort of just like
Yeah.
instant, because I would do that while I'm walking down the street to and from school. I would just do that, but it was all in my head.
But now you have music to it.
Now there's finally a thing that puts it in the world instantly. And because before this, it was like, oh, just like hop in GarageBand and like produce it. But then you have to set the BPM before you start rolling, and then you have to like actually sit there, and it takes forever, and it's not immediate, and it's just not as in tune. You know?
Yeah, it's so quick. It's so easy. Like, I thought of an idea right now that we could do something. Let's make like 10 pieces of like 15 to 20 second audio clips.
Great.
That are very like, hey, you could take these watching at home and put them in something. You could use them, but like 10 different scenarios, and I'll feed you the scenarios and make just like 20 seconds.
Okay,
so
great.
First one, I hate my boyfriend.
I hate my boyfriend! My boyfriend! Fuck my boyfriend! I fucking hate him!
Perfect. Next one. I've wait.
Shit. Okay, good.
Next one. I wanna. Fuck. Let me think.
I wanna fuck. 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 I wanna girl, I'm trying to fuck. Please just let me. I promise I'll be good at it. I promise I won't suck. Except in that way. I wanna fuck. I wanna fuck. I wanna fuck. I'll suck the way you want.
Great. I think it'd even be shorter.
Okay, great.
Even shorter. Let's see. I can't pay my rent.
I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my rent. Oh no, please help me. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my rent. I'm fucking broke. I'm broke. Oh no, I'm broke. Please. Obamacare.
I think that's good enough for now. I feel like, use those as you will.
Ringtones.
3 very specific pieces of audio content right there.
Make that whole thing play out of your Tesla when you honk the horn.
If somebody sends us a video of one of those playing from your Tesla, you're gonna get. I'll send you something.
I'll give you a Tesla horn right now.
Beep beep, I'm a Tesla. 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 Beep 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 beep. I'm a Tesla. Beep beep.
I can't tell you how bad I want to see somebody actually use that as their Tesla horn.
Beep beep.
Meet me. I'm a Tesla.
Don't. I'll do one for space trucks.
That's the one. That's it.
Fucking perfect. What's the weirdest, or I guess the weirdest situation you've been in with looping on the street? Has anything weird happen?
Well, yes. I mean, there's always something that's going to happen. That's the other thing about street performing. It's not for everyone. For me, I've learned I am a people pleaser at worst. at best, I'm just sort of like a man of the people, curious about people. Like, yeah, if someone's weird and they want to talk to me, I've always been the guy to like, yeah, I'll listen to you. This is like, how fun. It's just like my TV show in real life. I just get to like watch a person talk to me. On Venice Beach and in Hollywood, that's every day. Like, especially when I'm out there, it's surprising how quickly it takes someone to just like come up and just be like, oh yeah, they're dancing, or they just like come up and they just like, they're already rapping. And I'm like, well, here's the mic. Like, it always turns into some sort of jam session. So yeah, one time I had on Hollywood and Highland, I had this like clown, fully decked out clown.
Oh, really? Real clown? Okay.
Yeah, fully decked
You're
out.
just
Like
calling somebody a clown.
Yeah,
this
no.
fucking clown.
It's this fucking clown. Yeah, it's worth a distinction. But they were literally a clown, classic clown. They barely spoke English. They were making content. But like she went up and she was like, I, because she didn't. That was weird. I mean, there's always someone. Venice Beach, it can get sad on Venice because as like comfortable as it is to be in Venice, it's comfortable. So you get a lot of just like people who just mostly live on the street are just gonna like sort of go to Venice and live on Venice. For many months, they were living on Venice and then they like regulated it so now you can't just pitch a tent anymore. But it was, when I started going to Venice actually during lockdown, people were just, there's tent city on Venice, but I didn't really care because there were still people walking around. It was still like a touristy spot. There were just also a bunch of tents right there next to me. So I met some people. My buddy Glenn, he's in a few of my videos on Instagram. Like, he's a really good singer. He has a place now to live, but at the time he was just I think he was just out of his tent.
No shit.
And I was just like, yeah, what's good? Like, people come up. It doesn't matter where you came from. It's just like, if you vibe with my thing, then let's make music.
Yeah.
And so I like to think I'm a man of the people, but it's also a detriment sometimes because it's like hard to not people please so much. I think that's the better way to clip that because I ramble a lot.
No.
Sorry for the...
You're good for a podcast, Kyle.
Yeah, am I?
Yes.
I feel like I'm like...
No. You don't want somebody that gives one-word answers. Like, you want somebody that...
Really?
Yeah, 1,000%. I'd rather you talk than me.
Okay, good.
You said something, though, that it's funny. In doing I don't even want to call this an interview. It's us kind of just having a conversation. But in a somewhat interview setting, when I am like chatting with somebody, and especially an interview that doesn't have there's no questions, no guideline. They'll say something and then it'll just create a whole different, all right, this is the thing I'm going to go next. So I apologize that this is a complete tangent.
Sure.
But you said in that answer, TV show in real life. I think you said that.
Yes.
Did you see Truman Show when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
did you ever feel like that was happening to you?
No.
Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I was fully convinced for probably too long after seeing the Truman Show.
That's because you're growing up in Florida, Shane.
I'm growing up in Florida, but I've had a weird complex of wanting. You can call it fame. You can call it whatever you want. When I was younger, it was definitely wanting to be famous. But that is definitely, as you get into this business and realize that fame is not exactly what you want.
It's a big chore.
But I have always wanted an audience, a stage, since I was young. So, after seeing the Truman Show for the first time, I was fully convinced that was what was happening.
His face on the Jumbotron.
Everybody was.
You're like, yeah, they're all watching me.
I have a vivid memory of being in like this like fucking diner, and I'm like, these are all actors.
Yeah.
This is all about me. Like, what a fucking egomaniac of a child. But I'm not the only one. I feel like I've heard that is a common thing after people saw that movie, that some people really believed that.
Oh, sure.
And that I'm sure we were all dealing with a little bit of ego, unhealthy ego at that time. And
yeah, I didn't. I mean, I certainly watched it and it was like, oh, that'd be kind of like, I imagined it to happen to me like for fun. I never actually thought it was genuinely.
Ooh, let's get real deep for a second.
Yeah.
Let's get real fucking deep.
I
haven't gotten this deep yet on on content, but this is the kind of shit I really like to talk about.
We're getting
Is that a little toot? a little toot at the end?
It's a little tooty.
Who's to say that we aren't actually the concept of Truman Show, where it's you're the, let's say, star character, everyone else is just ancillary actors, like what is real kind of thing. Like, in a sense, like my reality in my experience is the only reality.
Yeah.
And so is yours.
Yeah.
So once I stop existing, or once I re-enter, however you feel or whatever your beliefs are of when you pass on, you guys want me to pull back the curtain? This is what I believe what happens when you pass on. I kind of re-enter my energy into the everything. So some say I stop existing physically, but I re-enter into everything and reconnect with everything. And my loved ones, yes, we all just reconnect. But is my show over then? And to me, you would stop existing in the physical plane. Right. So it's like, there is some truth to that. Like, each of us are kind of experiencing our own Truman Show reality show, because I feel like, I don't know, it was a lot better in my head when I was thinking about it, but what I'm trying to explain is okay.
Main characters, ancillary characters, they're not like you're not a main character in my life until I allow you to be. And what I mean by that is until I connect with you, until I say Kyle is one of my best friends. You know what I mean? Like, until that is true, you're in my life, in my show, you're just a guy walking on the side of the street. You're a background actor in the sense. You're far more than that to me, Kyle, and you're far more than that to this world. But what I mean is in my experience, until I cast you to be my friend, and vice versa, you to me, I would have just been a background actor. Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I don't know. So it's not to say that there's cameras everywhere, unless you say, well, there technically is cameras everywhere. Government. Biden.
We're watching ya.
Biden.
Biden.
I don't know. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah. Main character syndrome.
I definitely have main character syndrome.
I've heard.
But what I mean is like, you know, there's some truth into that. Like, everybody's reality is kind of their own show. And like, you're the director that's so fucking corny, but like, you are kind of, in a sense, the director in like how your life plays out.
Facts.
Based on your decisions, based on the people that you allow into your life. I'm a firm believer in, if you were somebody that was fucking shitty energy, if you were somebody that was a drug addict, shitty energy that just exuded negative energy, and I had you a part of my life for a long time, that would inevitably make me or affect my energy. I think I believe very much in energy, and I think that like who you surround yourself with eventually starts to change you.
Yes.
You know, so there's some truth to that kind of Truman Show process of like, each of us are kind of the stars of our own show, and you have to choose how the episodes play out.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're the Truman Show, but we are the crew and the director.
You're everything
as well. Yeah. We're in
You're the writer,
control.
the director, the producer,
and the audience.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh. Think about that, because really,
explain that.
The old adage of, I don't know if it's old, but it helps some people when a piece of advice given is, nobody cares as much as you care. And that's not to say nobody cares at all, because that's not true.
Nobody cares as much as you do.
But nobody cares as much as you do, generally.
That's so true. But why is that so?
And
why is that so hard for me to accept? Ego?
It's probably an ego thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I can't speak for you.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, if it's a matter of, oh, I'm afraid that people are going to see me in a negative way.
Here's what I'll say I deal with. I deal with a constant struggle in this business, like I think many people do that they just don't admit it, is do I want to work and book jobs and be a successful actor because of the craft, because of the work, or is there a part of me there's an unfulfilled part of my childhood that just wants to be accepted or accepted on a fucking massive scale? And that's something I deal with in therapy is why is that there? Why is that still unfulfilled? Why do I have this
Because you're human.
drive and this need to want to perform on such a massive scale? Call it fame, call it whatever you want. I've chosen to call it, I want to perform on massive stages.
Right.
Whether it's film, television, I've been fortunate to do it on great, massive stages, but I still want more. Why? Why isn't what I've done enough? Why? I think it's also a part of our society and our society, especially in America. And I can get, that's something I want to talk about before we wrap this up is, I just got back from Italy.
America. Oh yeah.
And experiencing some things in their culture that is very different from ours, but like our culture is definitely designed to make you feel like nothing you do is enough.
Right.
Nothing you have is enough.
Right.
So maybe it's just I've been conditioned by that by nobody other than like entertainment and programming and our government and our society. And, so maybe it's a little bit of that. Maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe it's just through osmosis that I've been made to feel like nothing I've ever done has been enough.
I think it's a little bit of nature as well as the nurture. Nurture of societal expectations. Monkey see, monkey do with like that person's getting success, so I want to get success.
Yeah.
So that's nurture, but it's also, you could argue it's also nature. Like you could argue that we as human beings, we've been around.
We're designed
we're animals,
yeah.
and we're designed to always be thinking forward. Because I better make sure that this shelter is really good because the storm's gonna come. Or I have food now, but I gotta make sure I have some stockpiles so I'm safe.
The safer my family and myself will be.
And I think that is human nature. And we don't have to worry about survival as much anymore. At all, in the way primal survival, we have all the infrastructure now. But now that instinct of get more, it sort of translates into get more money, get more money. But it also goes past that. It does end up being I don't know specific examples, but I just feel as if you go to other countries and cultures and that drive to always be hustling, that grind culture does not exist.
No, it really doesn't.
Italy's the example. You were just there. Everyone takes a big, long break in the middle of the day.
That, and I want to get into Italy deeper, but before we do, another reason I'm like this is one of my biggest inspirations and one of my biggest heroes is my dad. And my dad, his childhood, he was dirt poor. He grew up in a trailer with his whole family in a small trailer, dirt poor, ended up creating and selling a multi-million-dollar company. And that came from nothing. And that is, one of my biggest inspirations, but also it is a part of me that maybe feels like I have to also achieve like my father did.
Yeah.
I don't know that I do know that part of my dad is in me, and I do know that part of my dad is a big driving force of why I think I want so much out of life.
Would you say your dad's proud of you?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I believe that he is. I think that he's said that, but yes, I do believe that. But what I will say is that is a huge, I'm getting a little emotional. Shit, first time, we'll do a song about this after.
Yeah.
My dad being proud of me is very important to me. And it's something that I always am seeking or wanting. Yeah, fuck. I think that's a common thing.
It's very common.
Yeah.
And it's also healthy.
Yeah.
I think it is healthy to be seeking the approval of others. I mean, it's ultimately saying, I just want to be, you respect him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want his approval if you didn't love and respect him. So it just reflects how much you love and respect your father. You've given me, Dad, you've given me so much in this life. I want to give back by being the man you want me to be.
Oh, do I want to give back? Like I have this vision, you know, of, and I know life isn't about materialistic things. It isn't, but you know, I do have this vision because my dad has given me so much in this life and, you know, supported me in so many times. And I have this vision of like, I can't wait until I'm able to buy him a boat and just be like, this is for everything you've ever done for me. Enjoy. Like, I can't fucking wait. I don't want him to even know until he comes to the dock and I just give it to him. Like,
sick.
I so badly want to do that. And I know that life isn't about materialistic things, but it's about what like sometimes materialistic things mean. You know, it's like about the symbol of some things. And a boat is a massive thing that it could equally be done through something a lot cheaper, but it's what a boat has meant to my dad. And I know that like my dad in the past had boats and how much they meant to him. And then he's had to sell them as a sacrifice to get us as a family or his business to another place.
Right.
You know, so giving him a boat again would, you know, like from me will mean so fucking much to me and kind of be like the period at the end of the sentence that I'm looking for.
That's a beautiful thing to like shoot for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like a beautiful thing it's a beautiful mindset to put yourself in of like, I lovingly want to work towards this.
It's a goal. Yeah. One of my many checklists.
Exactly.
Goals.
Yeah. It's a good goal. But as with any goal, a goal becomes counterproductive when it starts to poison you with self anger and self disappointment, constant disappointment that you're not
especially
achieving.
Especially as you get older
goals.
and you feel like you haven't achieved. Especially as you get older and you maybe feel like you haven't achieved what you thought you would by certain ages, and society also makes us feel that way. But I'm kind of being kinder about some of these things to myself, but some things I still struggle with. Let's pivot to Italy. So quick little thing for me being a titty baby in that moment.
Yeah.
Shane has just given us a very real and genuine emotional moment. I guess that means he's a little titty baby. 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 La la la, squirt squirt with the milk at your tits. He's a little titty baby. Squirt with the milk at your tits.
Fucking perfect. Dude, you flipped my mood. I appreciate you. Italy was amazing. Italy, you're right though. Culturally, they're so fucking different. And I don't know if this will encapsulate that, but I feel like it does. At least it did for me. I was at, all right, let me paint the picture a little bit. So Gabby, her former stepdad, full Italian, and she remains close to him, beautiful. So we went over there. She was able to see him for the first time in like 20 years. And also meet cousins that she had never met. So one cousin, like 17, and this cousin, I was able to conversate with her because she speaks pretty good English. So I thought that was, you know, I used that as an opportunity to ask questions about her culture and stuff. And I don't know how this got brought up, but we were at a lunch with his family, like a real, genuine Italian lunch. And it was like, dude, his mom, which is, you know, the grandmother of the family, is the stereotypical Italian grandmother, hunched over, just like, you know, just like almost like a cartoon character, just what you would picture old Italian grandma. They made just the most delicious lunch ever. Fucking amazing. At the lunch, I don't know how it got brought up, but Jeff Goldblum got brought up.
Sure.
And
an Italian staple.
Well, Gabby brought up Jeff Goldblum. Oh, I remember because we were all looking at pictures and somebody looked like Jeff Goldblum in a picture. And Gabby's like, oh my God, this looks like Jeff Goldblum. And the cousin who I was talking about didn't know who Jeff Goldblum was.
Wow.
And where I was like, oh, wait, what? Like, you've seen Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She's never even heard of Jurassic Park.
What?
Never heard of Jurassic Park. So that to me was a huge eye-opener of like, oh my God, culture here is not their culture.
No.
It's just so different. So many things that we value as pieces of art in our culture that they don't give a fuck about. But it got me wondering. I was like, wait a sec. Wait, what is your favorite movie? And without hesitation, she fucking looks at me and she goes, White Chicks. In the most sincere way. And I lost my fucking mind. She's like, it's a good movie. It's
White Chicks.
White Chicks. And not even saying it's funny. She's like, it's a good movie.
It's good. There's a powerful.
I don't know if that illustrates Italian culture and how different it is with America, but
Holy hell. That is so
White
good.
Chicks be big in Italy.
White Chicks, my guy. Oh my God.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
It's gotta be. What? It's, this reminds me, like, some movies you see and you're like, movies are so bad these days. How are these movies getting made? But then you'll look at what they make internationally.
Uh-huh.
And some movies are just dumb and broad and they just work in any language.
Yeah. You know, another thing, because I was like, you got to come stay with us and visit us in California anytime. And I'm like, what's one thing, maybe food-wise, you're looking forward to when you come to visit America for the first time? And she said, Chick-fil-A sauce.
Solid answer.
I was like, all right. And so
Solid answer.
I said, I'll just send you. They make the bottle.
They
so
do.
I'm going to send her a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Incredible.
And she was elated.
Yeah.
So that's a little nugget about how our cultures are different.
Pumped with sugar. I wonder if she's going to be like.
Might not like it.
I've had Europeans come over and I've been with them in America and they try the bread and they're just like, it's so sweet.
Really?
The bread here is so sweet because it is. We put a little sugar in everything.
Because Americans can't have anything without it.
We're so accustomed, my guy.
Yeah, I think
nuts.
honestly, I think we're just too used to it that we don't even know the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any questions about Italy that I'm like that you're curious about their culture that I might be able to answer now that because I'm an Italy fucking aficionado?
Are there bidets?
Every bathroom.
Every bathroom has a bidet?
Every bathroom.
Separate or
Separate.
attached to?
Separate.
And you used it?
I never used it. I never used it because it wasn't like the bidet that I'm comfortable with using. It's this weird kind that I'm not familiar with. So
yeah, stand over it kind of thing.
I brought my butt wipes and
There you go. There you go.
If you're a fucking dude, PSA, and this might be a loop after this.
Yeah.
If you're a dude with a hairy ass,
You want me to do some music while you're saying this?
sure. If you're a dude with a hairy ass and you ain't using butt wipes, you're fucking disgusting. Use a butt wipe. Use a butt wipe. Use a butt wipe. Use a butt wipe. Use a butt wipe if you got a hairy ass. Use a butt wipe if you got a hairy ass. Use a butt wipe if you got a hairy ass. Use a butt wipe if you got a hairy Use a butt wipe if you got a hairy ass.
Ass, baby, ass. Just a little preview.
Would you do kids' birthdays?
Yeah,
But it's gonna be that song.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Only ask. Use a butt wipe if you have a hairy
the
ass.
donkey comes out. Sethward the donkey.
Yes. Perfect.
And then I do a song about ass.
Perfect.
And all the parents are like, what? And I'm like,
We at Content.
Don't make it weird. You're making it weird.
We at Content Incorporated, we have a birthday package where we have Kyle Helf on the loop, Seth as these big old terrifying animal characters, and I'll just scream in your kid's face.
The release forms we make you sign,
Immediately.
my God, they are extensive.
They are extensive,
Very
they
thorough.
are detailed, and they are binding.
They are.
And we come at a very low price, and by come I mean literal ejaculation.
Yeah, I ejaculate as a signature
Shouldn't
on the form.
connect coming with the kid's birthday party.
We didn't do it. You did it.
You did it.
Except Shane did do it.
I did it. You did it though.
You did it.
Well, let's wrap this up before we get ourselves canceled.
Like a little Christmas gift.
This was great. You're definitely going to be back many times as somebody that I feel it's easy for me to conversate with. But you want to promote your socials?
No.
Sick. Don't
bother
follow.
me.
Don't bother him.
Get away from me.
Don't fucking
I'm
bother him.
tired.
And if you see him on the street, he's tired.
Don't look at me in the eyes. Just come up, grab the mic, and spit a fat flow.
Kyle Helf is notoriously like Ellen DeGeneres. Don't look at him. Don't shake his hand. Yeah. Don't acknowledge his existence if he's out in public.
Mm-hmm. And I smell like tuna fish. I don't know.
Thank you guys for watching Content with Shane Hartline. This has been my special guest this week and the future special guest of many times, Mr. Kyle Helf. 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 Mr. Kyle. Mr. Kyle Helf.
Hey,
Mr. Kyle Helf.
hey,
Mr. Kyle Helf.
hey,
Mr. Kyle
hey, hey,
Help.
It's Content with Shane Hartline. Hey,
Mr.
hey,
Help.
hey, it's Content with Shane Hartline.
Mr.
Hey,
Help.
it's Content with Shane Hartline. Hey, baby girl, it's Content with Shane Hartline. Yeah, Content with Shane Hartline. Yes, believe it is the man. He's the man right now with the plan. Shane Hartline, baby. Yeah. Enough lines make a circle. What? Enough lines make a circle? Yeah. That's how we do it out here. Geometry is dead. We do it out here. Yeah, geometry is dead. Lines make a circle. Content with Shane Hartline. I'm Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Yes, you fucking did, nerd. Said yes, you fucking did, nerd. Did I do that? You fucking did it all, Shane. Yeah, Content with Shane Hartline rang in the bell. It's Content with Shane, 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 Shane. Hartline, 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 Hartline. Hey, hey,
Help.
yeah,
Help.
hey,
Help. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle Help.
Mr. Kyle
Help. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle. Mr. Kyle. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle Help. Mr. Kyle Help. 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 Mr. Kyle 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 Help. 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 Mr. Kyle 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 Help. Mr.
please.
Hug your parents.
Great. Fucking perfect.